Keto and crime, keto and crime. We uncover the grime on keto and crime. Keto and crime, keto and crime. Now is the time for keto and crime.
Hey everyone, Tracy here from Keto and Crime. Thank you so much to every single one of my patrons and channel members. You make this possible. And you're one of the reasons I do this. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And if I haven't said it before, thank you. I'll sing it. Thank you. Thank you for hanging in there with me and letting me geek out, not making fun of me like a lot of other people do, because I like weird stuff about crime and dark history. Thanks, everyone. Hey, everyone. Welcome to Keto and Crime. Today, I've got a quick update on a case that I brought you last week, the July 1st stabbing of in a Harlem area convenience store involving 61-year-old Jose Alba and 35 to 37-year-old Austin Simon. It all started when Simon's girlfriend and her daughter entered the bodega and their EBT debit card would not work to purchase a bag of chips, and Mr. Alba took the potato chips back, and then, of course, the girlfriend yelled some expletives, said she would be back with her N-word, and did come back with her boyfriend, Mr. Simon, who has a long criminal history, most recently being turned out in basically New York's catch and release for assaulting a police officer with no bond, no bail, nothing, just arrest and you're out. He came back in, entered the back cashier area of the store and began throwing Mr. Alba around. As you've seen the famous video, I also did a video on it. I'll link that up here, throwing him back down into the chair as he tried to go by him, ripping him around, throwing him over here, tasing him back and forth. And then, of course, Mr. Alba grabbed a kitchen knife that he used to open deliveries and stabbed him in the chest, resulting in then the girlfriend, who was just outside the back cashier area, stabbing him. So he had two stabbings there. Mr. Simon did die en route to the hospital and was pronounced dead at the local hospital. Mr. Alba surrendered to police officers. He was first posted at $250,000 bail for defending himself, unlike his perpetrator, who, if he had still been in jail for assaulting a police officer, this would never have happened, and was held at Rikers Island for 6 days until he was finally reduced to $50,000 bail. Well, today we have won, y'all. Charges have been dropped against Mr. Alba, thanks to all of you, everyone that I'm sure wrote the DA's office, that called the DA's office, and the intervention of New York City Mayor Eric Adams. It is now, the case has been dropped. As you can imagine, a lot of mixed reactions. One relative of Mr. Simon says he's disgusted by it and that New York might as well be a stand your ground state. I agree with you, sir. It should be a stand your ground state. There's no reason. I'm here in Tennessee, which is a stand your ground state. If you come up into my area and start roughing me around, I should have the right to defend myself. And if you do that, just like this guy, I think you choose your own day to die. It should be a stand your ground state. You would see a lot less crime if it was. And another relative of Mr. Simon, who I think is a little more sensible, is now pressing for the girlfriend that stabbed Mr. Alba and caused the whole thing by bringing him in there to deal with Mr. Alba should be charged. However, of course, the district attorney is saying that they couldn't prove it wasn't self-defense and her knife was small enough that it fit New York law. Just a cop-out for bringing anybody that's responsible for this to justice. She should be prosecuted for this, and I hope Mr. Alba, if you're listening to me, sue her butt. Sue her butt. I know you won't get jack. I mean, she was on EBT. You're not going to get jack, and I'm not shaming people that are on welfare. A lot of people need it. but if you watch the film of that, the guy that assaulted Mr. Alba, Mr. Simon, was wearing a t-shirt that is retailed at about $700. So, and you couldn't afford less than $3 for a bag of chips. So, sue her. Sue her. Get justice. Because bringing in somebody to settle a score over a $2.50 bag of chips, come on. And the fact that you exposed your child to that, the child was there. That child doesn't have a chance in hell. That child is going to grow up thinking that that's how you handle things, and it's just going to lead to even more trouble. So please, sue her. If they're not going to prosecute her, sue her. But of course he won't. Mr. Alba is a nice gentleman. He immigrated over 35 years ago from the Dominican Republic, worked hard to become an American citizen, bought the Blue Moon bodega in Harlem, and has been working there as probably one of 2 employees. So he works all the time. He works 18, 20 hours a day. A hardworking man that had to go through an utter hell of an experience staying at Rikers Island for 6 days, when this would have all been prevented if the DA had held the perpetrator for attacking a police officer with bail. But anyway, you can tell I'm all fired up. I don't like to see any kind of conflict, but I think maybe the right to defend yourself against a deadly assault is back in New York City. And I did have a very nice discussion with someone in my comment section who said that it didn't fit the case of self-defense because it wasn't deadly force, that Mr. Alba could have responded with fists and things like that. But I disagree. You have a man that's half the age of his victim throwing around the victim. I think when it comes to the elderly and children, fists and throwing them around is deadly force. So I certainly think this was self-defense, and evidently both the mayor and the DA agree with me. I also think that I kind of shudder to think what would have happened. What would have happened if this had not gotten the media attention that it did? Mr. Alba would probably still be sitting in Rikers Island at a $250,000 bail. So the fight in New York is far from over. At least the new mayor, I mean, he has his faults for sure, but he is saying that we need to look at our self-defense laws and the ability to protect oneself, because, and also their whole standard of catch and release. You catch them, you release them. I don't see what the deal is. Some people need to be kept off the street. And if Mr. Simon had been kept off the street, this would never have happened. He would still be alive, and that child would not be traumatized. And with that being said, a victory for the good guys. And thank you all for everything. I'll be back soon with more Roman Catholic history. I have a great video with my good friends Carrie Smith and Mike Arlo coming out this weekend. It's going to be a long one, so strap in, but it's going to be a good one. And then I'll be back next week with more of Roman Catholicism with the Spanish Inquisition, the Tudors, that is Henry VIII and Bloody Mary. And then we will go in the Martin Luther and the Reformation. And then we will be into the modern era of Catholicism with a short history video. And then we'll get into the really juicy stuff, crimes and scandals revolving around the Catholic Church and Mother Teresa. So it's going to be an exciting rest of the summer. I hope you're ready. And until next time, keto and crime. Out.